properly peace that will end this conflict. How can a peace be lasted without security, insurance, without security guarantee that Russia will not invade again Ukraine, even if it's occupying the territory or not? What can make Russia right now trustful enough for Ukraine to sign a peace? Ukraine signed the memorandum in '94. We give you our nuclear weapons and you recognize our border and you leave us to whatever we want to do democratically in our country, independence and sovereignty. Then they signed the Minsk Treaty after the annexation of Crimea, that all the conflict in Crimea and Donbass will be solved peacefully. Ukraine still wanted to join the democratic nations. Russia still had been upset about that effort of Ukraine. And it invaded in 24 February 2022 Ukraine, and the conflict is still going till now. But Russia doesn't make any succession to make any kind of peace treaty. They proposed some kind of peace treaty with the American support, where Ukraine need to give up to their land. The European Union need to pay for the consequence of war. Russia will not pay nothing. All the prisoners of war will be returned without a judge, without a trial. Also, UK supported, and we are very thankful for that, supported Ukraine from the very first day of the conflict. And because of that, Russia don't like this country as well, wanted to end any kind of support. What kind of peace is this one? Russia wants to enforce an oppressive peace, so-called peace, on Ukraine, where Ukraine will not have allies, where Ukraine cannot demand anything about their occupied territory. And even if there are people who are listening, what can we say about the people who come over here in UK, from Donbass, from Lugansk, from Crimea, who leave their houses and their families back in the occupied region by the Russian? Can we tell them that they should not be Ukrainian anymore? They should not go back to their own houses? Because if they go back to their houses in an occupied Russian territory, then they will be like they have, it's going to be like an execution for them. They will not have the right, they will be treated like traitors, because in Russia, you don't have respect for human life. Russia is a country that claims to be a democratic nation, claims to be a victorious, and complain about the other countries being ungrateful for what they did in World War II. But in the World War II, we have so many countries in the East Europe that today condemn and hate Russia for what they did. Russia never did any liberation nowhere they have gone. They have made only occupation, looting, stealing, destruction, ripping, everywhere where they have gone. There is not a single nation over the world where Russia has been occupying and ever tried to develop something over there. Not even a single one. Moldova is the poorest country in Europe. Romania is unfortunately, and Bulgaria, the poorest in the European Union. We have Georgia with a Russian army on their territory who wanted to join before 2008 the European Union, Russian occupation army. We have Belarus who revolted in 2020-2001. Russian came with their army to stop them over there. Their president had been kept in power, Alexander Lukashenko, by Putin regime with the Russian army. They are overstanding their presidential power. Every time you need in a democratic society to change, to inflict your ideas, if they don't work, no worry my friend, we have a change. But that one is not happening in the influence of Russia. Whenever we cross from the West Europe to the East, we immediately can see difference huge difference. The infrastructure, the fact that Russia never allowed the Marshall Plan, the historical economic program that allow UK after the World War II, which we have a monument here, after the World War II, UK was built with the effort of Americans with the Marshall Plan. This plan was denied by the Russians all over the Eastern Europe. That's why you have such a diverse situation in the Eastern Europe. Russia was an aggressive country all their history, making multiple annexations on Poland, on Romania, on the Baltic, on Finland, even in the eastern part of Asia. Manchuria from China was for one time occupied by Russia. The Sun country, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, all over, wherever Russia had come, they have occupied their part of the border, reshaping all the border by force, by brutality, and they never built anything in those countries. World support Ukraine!
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 Russia is a terrorist state!
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 Russia is a terrorist state!